Yes, guys. Welcome back to another stream. It's another episode of the Tone Show. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys smash a like on the stream. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. Hopefully, you guys are well. We're gonna have a bit of a random chat today. Transfer talk. Obviously, Tom has been speaking about 115, and then anything else that takes your fancy. But before we do, let's get some shout outs in the building. Let's see who's here. Built to Dr. Footy. Alvida Zane, Sign Silver, Joseph, Ryan, Silvio, Jimmy Five Chins, Seb, Steve, Sam, Idranil, Guardiola, Brandholt, Loco, MCFRTV, big up to Dash, Asgar, Rodrigo, big up Lauren, Swizz, Andrew, Itchy, Ryan, Thomas, Cameron, Abubukar, and many, many more. Hope you guys are all doing well. Please make sure you drop a like. Tone!
Hello.
You all right, bro? You good?
I'm very well, yeah. And yourself?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well. I've just come off a fast. I did 45 hours. I did, and now I'm feeling on top of the world, bro. I'm feeling on top of it. It's Friday, final game for City tomorrow. Yeah. Life is good.
Yeah, City fans, we're all good. Everyone's happy, as we should be. We're top of the world, top of the table, won the league, FA Cup final, 7 trophies, hopefully in a year. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong. We're all good.
Facts. And Luke, you well, bro?
Yeah, all good. Things that I'm reading last couple of days have been very exciting regarding probably what we're going to talk about today. And FA Cup final tomorrow against them lot. Excited, very, very excited. So let's bring on the weekend and see what's happening.
Cool. Guys, you can find Luke's channel, by the way, in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to him. Let's start off with this news, about Javi Simmons. Because, honestly, man, I've never seen a player wanted as much at City from the chat as much as Javi Simmons. And it's quite funny, really, because I've not actually seen that much of him. I've seen him play. But the chat tone, like... I don't know what it's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with the chat, man. The chat just love this guy for some reason. So for people that have not seen, obviously we all know Paqueta's done now because he's been charged. Graeme Bailey this morning has said that City are now looking at Danny Olmo, who we know that City are looking at him. But obviously Bayern Munich now apparently want him as well. But City are now looking at potentially Javi Simmons. He's currently at Leipzig, but obviously he's going back to PSG. And maybe PSG, bit of a swap deal with Bernardo Silva. But yeah, your thoughts on this story on Javi Simmons, Tom? He seems to be a fan favourite. He's not even a City player.
Yeah, I'm not sure how reliable this chap is, this Graeme chap. I'm not familiar with him. I don't know much about him, to be honest. But I've not heard anything to do with Javi Simmons coming to City. I have Olmo, definitely. And there are other clubs in for him. And he's got, I think, is it a 60 mil release clause?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but Simmons, I keep seeing people, loads of people asked, I think last summer, because he's on loan, isn't he, at Leipzig? I think he's got sort of 13, 14 assists and about 10, 11 goals or something. And he's clearly impressing out there. Whenever I've seen him, I'll be honest, 4 or 5 times, maybe. Yeah, he looks good. I really don't know that much other than what I've seen about him. He's a good attacking player. I'm just not sure on the links because I've not seen anything concrete or spoke with anyone that have anything to say on this guy for City. So it's quite difficult, really.
My thing is on this year is why, if he was that good, why would PSG want to sell him?
Yeah, they need players as well, PSG. They need quality players, PSG, because they're going to be in a bit of a rebuild when Mbappe goes.
Luke, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think there's been kind of this massive hype around Javi Simmons for years. Obviously, come through Barcelona as a wonder kid, didn't he? Obviously, probably didn't live up to the hype of Barcelona. Obviously, got shifted around a few times. As for the last season or two, really impressed at Leipzig, showing kind of what he can do. Obviously, hasn't had, as you're showing there, kind of much impact at PSG either. And I think that's probably the reason why they're looking to sell him on, kind of make a big profit on what they've kind of brought him in for. But who knows? Maybe he could be the kind of superstar they're looking for in Mbappe's absence. Obviously, now that he's going, but he is an exciting player for me. But I think, obviously, you're looking at if he's going to be the one over Danny Olmo. Who knows? But yeah, he's an exciting talent. Only 21 years of age, as you've shown there. But he's kind of been around the rumour mill a lot. Not just for us, but obviously across the world over the last probably even like 6-7 years. He came in very young at Barcelona at La Masia, and just now he's starting to live up to that hype. So he's an exciting one to look out for. But we'll wait and see.
Let me ask you guys a question, boys. Let me ask you lots of questions. Chat as well. Give me your opinion on this. If we do look at someone like Javi Simmons, and obviously Bernardo was to leave, do any of you guys worry slightly about the experience that we've lost over the last few years? Because you look at Gundogan, gone, experience. You look at Mahrez, gone, experience. Bernardo would obviously be gone in this hypothetical situation. He'd be gone, experience. You've replaced him with Doku, Savio coming in, and then Javi Simmons, who's 21. Obviously, you've got Kevin De Bruyne, who might be leaving in a year's time, 2 years' time. He's going to be leaving soon. I just look at it and go, that is a big... And obviously, at the same time, it's got to be said that you're going to have other players who are getting more experience. So the Fodens, he's now becoming a more experienced player, even though he's still young because of how many games he's played. Rodri's obviously now becoming one of your... So there is a balance to it. But like, on the face of it, just looking at the facts, it does seem like you're getting rid of some real pros, real experienced players there, and getting in these younger players. Like, does that concern you? Are you seeing the balance of the other players who are rising up the ranks, like your Fodens, and just thinking it's not that important?
I would be very concerned if our only business was Bernardo out and Simmons in. That definitely would concern me for sure, because that is weakening the squad. I think the squad slightly regressed from what you just said there, the experience from last summer to now, although we've had another really good season, that in terms of the quality of the squad has slightly regressed. So I think this is a big summer to improve the squad. I don't think there'll be masses of players in and not many out. I think as many will come in as go. But yeah, I'll be concerned if that was the only business. If it was literally Simmons in, Bernardo out, yeah, that would be a worry for me. I don't know about you, Luke.
Yeah, but it kind of seems to be a shifting thing with City. A lot of experience goes out the door, and a lot of youth comes in. Obviously, that kind of factor maybe changed last season with the likes of Kovacic coming in, more like an old guard. But it does seem to be quite a pattern for Man City on the summertime. Obviously, we've had it over the years, like David Silva go, Fernandinho go. It kind of seems to be one experienced player out the door each season. Obviously, that kind of changed again last summer with several departing, Laporte, Mahrez, Gundogan, as you said there, LB. It is a concern, obviously, because you do kind of lose your old guard, shall we say, your experienced players who have kind of dealt with Pep on like several years now. And obviously Bernardo is one of them who has been here, since 2016? Been here a while anyway, yeah. 2017, 18 maybe. But obviously then you're looking at players now to step up in that regard. So you've obviously got the likes of your Phil Foden as one who is now kind of the more experienced players, only 23, but more experienced. Your Edison has been here a while now as well. So it seems to be the theme of kind of getting some of the experience out the door for fresh blood, shall we say. But then it also seems to be that there's a requirement for players who have been here long term to step up. And as Bernardo said in an interview as well, kind of these young players have come in, the likes of Doku, Vardiol, but it's their responsibility to kind of adapt. But then it's on the old guard's head to kind of show that experience and step up. So I think it's more just a churning of every season, kind of developing the players who have been here a little while now to take the experience on their shoulders, get the younger ones through the door, and kind of then gradually have this process of when they're here for a few years, get them involved. And it just seems that City do very well in that regard.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Luke. Who would you rather have? Say Bernardo leaves this summer, would you rather sign Olmo or would you rather sign Javi Simmons? Olmo a bit more experience, but maybe his potential is capped. He's not a bad player, but he's not a superstar. Let's be real. Javi Simmons, less experience, probably would be less consistent. However, clearly has uncapped potential. But obviously, potential is nothing. Like, you might not get that potential. Where would you rather go?
Yeah, I think everyone in a football environment obviously looks at talent outranking anything else. But for me, what you had with Bernardo, if he is to go, is, and it's kind of the biggest phrase out there, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. For me, obviously, Bernardo's work rate is impeccable. I don't think there's many that will match him in terms of across the world in football for his work rate with his ability. But for me, I think if you were to pick out of them two, if Bernardo's to go, for me, it would be Dani Olmo. Has the experience.
Bro, his injury record is absolutely diabolical.
It is, but for me, there's been glimpses where I think it was in the Pokal against Bayern, absolutely tore him a new one. For me, obviously, there's been glimpses and a consistency throughout Javi Simmons in the last couple of years where he's shown glimpses, but he's been consistent. Whereas I think for me with Dani Olmo, there is a potential there, kind of comes in Spanish, fits to play a lot more than Javi Simmons would for me, personally. Obviously, could maybe hit the ground running with that kind of Spanish counterpart. He is, again, another one who's excellent, Mazia, as well, I believe. Kind of a little bit older as well, more experience, but the big hindrance for me is, you said there, injury record. Can he keep fit? Whereas Javi Simmons doesn't seem to have that injury record either. But for me, it would be Dani Olmo, just on the basis of from what I've seen and experience.
Tone, would you go with Luke there, Dani Olmo? Because for me, I looked at his injury record yesterday. He plays less games, less minutes than John Stones, and that for me is just, especially when you're going from a player like Bernardo Silva, who plays pretty much every game, to have a player that is unreliable. I don't think I could go for Olmo personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either as a replacement for Bernie, but but if I had to pick, like I said, I've only seen Simmons a few times. I've seen Olmo far more, but I've been more impressed with Simmons in a few games than I have Olmo. Look, if we sign Olmo, I'll get behind him and all that sort of stuff. I trust the club in it far more than I do, but I personally not sold. It's not just the injuries. Even when he plays, I'm just not overly sold on him, to be honest. I think he'll probably end up at Bayern Munich anyway. I don't think City will go all in for him. I just don't think he's the level. I don't see it with Olmo, to be honest. But hey, if we get him, then so be it. But I would go Simmons to answer your question.
It's certainly an interesting one. By the way, Luke, if you need to dip for work, bro, don't worry, man. Just let us know. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Anyway, I know the chat absolutely loves Javi Simmons. Listen, it will be interesting to see who we get. I have a feeling that we won't sign any of these guys now, and someone else will crop up. I honestly believe if Rafinha is available, I can see Rafinha being signed, mate. I seen it last night when I was doing my research yesterday. Yeah, I was scrolling through the top right wingers in the world. I've seen Rafinha, and I was like, that stinks of Barcelona going, we'll give you Rafinha, you give us Bernardo. And it's a win-win for both parties.
No, not for me. But again, it's Man City. I think every name under the sun of these lazy journalists is going to be touted upon us, and they'll just stick names to us and be like, oh, well, what about him? And because of the caliber that we're at, so many people have believed so many stories. And yeah, I think City have a set number of names throughout the season who they've kind of looked at, and obviously we all kind of hope for. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, Dash in the chat just put he'd rather have Dwight McNeil than Rafinha. That's the level. I don't think he's far wrong. I wouldn't want Rafinha at City.
Maybe that's a little harsh, bro. Comparing him to Dwight McNeil. Come on.
Hey, McNeil isn't a bad footballer. I'm going to put it out there. Not to our level, but he's not a bad footballer.
I have an agenda against Dwight McNeil.
Do we even need a right wing? I mean, we've got Doku and Savio, so we've got enough out there. I know we're saying this for
me. It's more about the experience. This is why I come back to the question that I asked you guys before. It's not necessarily about quality. because clearly Savio is a good player, right? Look at what he's done for Girona. People are raving about him. Yeah, the Brazilians are saying he's going to be absolutely world class. City have obviously pulled the trigger and got him into City before his value goes up even more. Clearly, he's a good player. Clearly, Doku's a good player and will be better as the years progress. That's not clearly Bob as well. Let's not forget about Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob is clearly a fantastic talent, a fantastic prospect. But when you're playing Premier League football, you need someone that can perform consistently week in, week out. And what do you get with young players a lot of the time? Inconsistency, because they're developing. They'll have a couple of good games. Look at Kobe Mainoo, by the way, at Man United. Comes in, smashes it for a couple of months, and then the last month or two, he's been absolutely shit. He'll probably score tomorrow, I've just said that. But the point is true. Why? Because they're inconsistent. Do you know what I mean? If Phil Foden would have played week in, week out when he first come through, it would have been inconsistent. That's why,
But I do think what you're saying is absolutely correct. Obviously, you're losing somebody in Bernardo. If he is to go, hypothetically, you are losing someone with so much experience and quality that you kind of do worry about that. But I do think Pep is very assured on kind of I don't know what the word is, but kind of settling people in. I think Doku has been an extreme circumstance with injuries and kind of rotation. But I do think the likes of, your Savio, for example, we have all seen what he can do for Girona. But I think Pep isn't stupid to the fact that he will need somebody with experience also. Like, look at, for example, with Kovacic, obviously Nunes was brought in as well. Nunes has been kind of grown into the squad. He's loving it by all looks of it. But Kovacic was one where he was like, right, I can actually trust you. I can put you out on the pitch and I know what I'm going to get. And I think Pep is very reluctant to kind of bring players in, play them on a consistent basis, unless he's seeing something in training where he's like, right. And there will be somebody who comes in with experience, but I feel like the youngsters will then also be let to flourish as well. Like he's the prime example we all see is Foden that he's done that with. He hasn't kind of thrown him in the deep end like Mainoo for them lot. And look how it's gone. So just again, it's about more having faith in what obviously will happen.
Yeah, Oscar Bob's an interesting one because he turns 21, I think, before the season starts. So he's not 17 anymore. I'm not saying he's old. He's clearly still very young. But you only gain experience in these games by playing them in the games. So Oscar Bob's got to play more. And I would much rather use Oscar Bob more than just go out and buy someone who's experienced but not particularly great. Dare I say, Olmo. Okay, different positions or what have you. But you see the point I'm making. I'd much rather give them that experience. We've just won 4 titles on the bounce, and obviously we're going to go for another one. That will always happen. But we're not in a position where we absolutely bloody have to win absolutely everything, even if we go for everything. So now it's not a bad time to start throwing in the Oscar Bob for more games.
Listen, Luke's got a dip, man, so big up to Luke for jumping on. Thanks, bro.
Apologies,
find his
lads.
link in the description. No, it's all right. No worries, bro. No worries. Big up for you, man. Big up to you.
No. And I'll, hopefully we have a good result on Saturday and we can all sing and dance about that as well.
Yeah, man. Hopefully. Nice one, bro. Catch you in a bit, bro.
No worries. Take care.
Let's come to some of these chats, man. Big up to Science Silver. Says, I'm Dutch and I wanted him at, this is about Javi Simmons. I wanted him at PSV and the national squad. Don't want Javi Simmons. Don't get me wrong. Great player, but not City level yet, says Science Silver. Obviously knows a lot about him. Big up to you, bro, for the 8 months. Darcy says, I think if you want a right winger, you go for Olise. I'll get Tone's take on Olise in a second, and another Crystal Palace player, actually. And E-Ink says, Rafinha for Cancelo, not Bernardo. That's actually not a bad shout, really. Because we need to get rid of Cancelo. And Barcelona are not going to pay any money for him. I said this. The moment that happened between Pep Guardiola and Cancelo, we kind of screwed ourselves. Because it was the same situation that United put Sancho in. Like, when you're in that position, you find it difficult. That's actually not a bad deal. If Bernardo stayed and we swapped Cancelo for Rafinha, I think I'd low-key take that. I just don't want Rafinha being my main guy.
Yeah, for the squad. But it's not a bad deal. If it's a choice of getting no money for Cancelo, which I think will happen, I think very little, it'll be a loan again, because who's going to pay? Same as Phillips, no one's going to pay for him unless it's very small. And if it was, look, straight swap, we'll call it there, then yeah, fine, throw him in the squad. It's not the worst thing to happen, I don't think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, let's come on to Olise then, and the Crystal Palace links. Tone, there have been quite a few. Eze is a top talent, is a player that I think a lot of people rate, and obviously Olise, a lot of people are saying to me that LB, why do you not love this guy? Is the Mahrez regen? Let's start off with Olise, because obviously we got that comment then in the super chat. Mikel Olise, are you a fan?
Oh yeah. He's very good. I prefer Eze, but Olise is a good player. He's a United fan though, which I know you shouldn't worry about these things. Or I think he's a United fan. Someone told me that. And United are the favourites to get him as well. I had a look on some betting thing 2 or 3 days ago now, and at that point, United were clear favourites to get him. So. And I did read somewhere he won't go to Chelsea because he wants to go to United. So he must be a United fan if he's.
Yeah, I'm checking the odds now. Yeah, I'm checking the odds now, Tone. And United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool are all above City. So the bookies obviously not got us up there.
No, I've not seen any credible links since last summer when we were linked with him. Eze is different. Eze has been linked from very reliable sources and has since. There's been word, but I know other teams are in for him as well. Tottenham, I saw some Tottenham in the know person was saying about Eze and them going all in on him. So there's more interest in him. I prefer Eze, not just because City are interested, but I just think his more round game suits City more. I think he's a bit calmer, a bit more composure. But in the games I've seen, both very good players.
What about let me ask you a question then on that. What about if you're talking specifically about the right wing situation? And I get that Eze is probably more versatile, but if I say to you, Tone, forget versatility, yeah, we've got our left wingers, we've got our midfielders. I actually need someone's versatile. I just want a right winger, yeah. Would you still favour Eze in that situation, or would you come to it? Or what's your take on that?
You watch. I'll say yes, and then we'll buy bloody Olise tomorrow. Eze, I'll stick with Eze because we've seen the work Pep does with people who are out of position or to learn a new role. I just think Eze's got more of an upside. Purely what I've seen, they're both very good, but I would still stand by if it was right side. Even though Olise is probably more familiar out there, I still go Eze because I think he, like I say, he's got more ability, and Pep will get it out of him. And if Pep thinks he can play out on the right, then it will more than likely work. So yeah, Eze.
Eze, that's it. Let me do a poll in the chat. Actually, I'm interested to see what you guys are saying on this one. Whether it is Eze or Olise. What do you think the chat's going to vote for?
I reckon Eze. I still think Eze. I think they will. I think Eze. Go on. Sorry.
What the prices? Have we got any idea of how much it would cost to get Olise versus how much it would cost to get Eze, or do we not know that? Because Olise has a release clause, right?
Olise, yeah, it's about 60 million, isn't it? Is it around that? Because it was 30.
I thought it was around that, yeah.
Yeah, and Eze, I don't think does. Someone might want to correct me, but I would imagine he'd go for around the same price, maybe a little more. But same with Neto as well at Wolves, which I'll be honest, I think Neto would be almost certainly joining us this summer if it wasn't for the injury. I think he'd be half in the door now, but the injuries, huge concern. And Wolves,
that's a shame about his injuries. We spoke about it last night with Sai. His injuries are just, they're really bad. They're really, really bad.
Yeah, it's too much. But he's a good, bloody good player. We saw it. City know firsthand how good Neto is. But yeah, I still go Eze above both of Olise and Neto right now. I think Eze is a massive talent, and wherever he ends up, City or someone else, they've got a hell of a signing, and he has the potential to be in that City 11 under Pep. Yeah. I've seen the way he plays. Just he is City not standard right now, but he's City. He's got the attributes.
Yeah. Now, apparently, Eze also has a release clause. Olise's release clause is 60 million. However, Eze, struggling to find out what his release clause is. I've gone on Google, can't see anything.
No, I don't think Eze. Sorry, I can't talk. Eze, I don't think he has one.
Interesting.
But Wolves want 60 for Neto, reportedly, which
but you can't go for a player, right? Listen, if Bernardo stays, then I'd be more open to buying a player that has some injury concerns.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's going to be a squad rotational player anyway. Yeah. So I'm not asked. It's like if we let's think about another position. So let's say we're signing an attacking midfielder, right? You've already got Foden, you've already got KDB. So I'm not overly concerned if the player you've signed to be a backup to those two players, especially when you've already got like your Rodri Kovacic, has a few injury concerns. But if Bernardo leaves, then I can't. That to me, the injury history to me then becomes a lot more important because I'm going to be relying on you a lot more because there's no one else there. Now, of course, you got your Bobs and your Docus and that, but like if we're saying this is going to be the Bernardo replacement, well, there's no point in signing the Bernardo replacement if he only plays 1,500 minutes a season, especially when Bernardo's getting close to 4,000 minutes per season. So that's the problem with Neto. You can't sign him. His injuries are just too bad.
I think the problem is also let's say we get Bruno G and we tick that one and we say, right, that is the signing. No one else is coming in unless we start replacing. So then if Bernie goes, whoever you get in, is very unlikely to be that level that he is at the moment. And I think that's the key thing. Is there may be a bit of patience required. There may be a slight dip in quality between the one that we get in. I know people want Musiala and stuff. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I do not see that happening. Sorry, I know I've just moved on to another player, but I've seen a lot of people say Burnley goes, get Musiala in. And I get the sentiment. I understand why. And to be fair, the level between those two isn't really much, drop off or anything really. I'd probably rather have Musiala going forward, if you see what I mean, just because of the age and so on. But I just don't see Bayern selling him. I think next summer, when he's got a year left, if he is still saying, I'm not staying here, next summer the conversation, definitely. But I don't see Musiala this summer.
Let's be real, yeah. City are going to get Bruno in it from Newcastle.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that looks to me like a thing that's going to happen. By the way, guys, please make sure you smash the like on the stream. Over 500 people tuned in, so please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribed, and of course, if you're watching back on replay, make sure you get your comments in. We'll have a little chat about Bruno, and then I want to move on to the 115 talk again. Tom has been speaking about this, so that is relevant. Let me just go through some of these chats. So first, Tom.
Cool.
What about Jadon Sancho? He'd cook with Haaland. I actually said last night that Sancho would absolutely cook with Haaland, but the problem is he's just clearly not fully focused, and I just think him and Pep Guardiola it just wouldn't work, bro. It wouldn't, unfortunately, and it's a real shame because I think Jadon Sancho, the best manager in the world for him right now, would be Pep Guardiola. I think the way that Jadon Sancho plays, I think the system that City play, with the big man up top, I just think Jadon Sancho for City would be absolutely insane. But I just don't think he's dialed in clearly. So yeah, it's a shame, really. Big up to Sign says we have to scan that Real Madrid squad. There is no way everybody is staying with Mbappe and Endrick coming next season. I did say this last night. Got shot down, man. I got shot down, Signs. But I said this last night. I said, listen. If they sign Mbappe, they're going to have Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, and Jude Bellingham as the front four. Then in behind, they're going to have probably Camavinga, Tchouaméni. Well, where's Valverde going? If Valverde goes in, well, who's being dropped out of that team? Is Valverde going to be playing midfield? In that case, they're going to be dropping what? Tchouaméni or Camavinga? If they don't do that, what they're going to do? They're going to drop Rodrigo and play Valverde right wing, which they've done before.
Yeah,
Now
Valverde.
people say, "Oh, they rotate," but there's only so much rotation. At the end of the day, when they get to a Champions League final or when they've got a big match against Barcelona or Atletico Madrid, someone's getting dropped. So I personally agree. I think we should be doing exactly that. And listen, it might be the point that it might be Tchouaméni getting dropped, and we don't really need a Tchouaméni as much as we'd like him to be a backup DM or whatever. Like he's not going to do that, is he? So I think we should be looking at it, but I don't think. I think if Rodrigo's the one in it, Rodrigo would be perfect. I think, but a lot of people don't rate him.
Yeah, I saw you with Si last night. Really good show. And yeah, Si wasn't so sold on him, was he? Either Rodrigo, he's a bit.
Yeah, Si didn't like him, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's a player, mate. Yeah, I'd definitely want him in. But yeah, you're right. I know FFP only seems to count for certain clubs, but Real Madrid surely can't be having all these players. It's bloody ludicrous, not just financially, but like you say, who's sitting on the bench? Valverde's just signed a new 5-year deal, hasn't he?
Oh, shit. Don't forget about Brahim Diaz, Tone.
Oh, Brahim Diaz. Yeah, he's one of ours.
I'll tell you what, as well, every time I've watched him this year for Real Madrid, he's low-key slapped. Yeah,
he's good at Milan. He was at Milan, wasn't he? And I think he was good there. So yeah, that's it. This we say about City's option.
Would you have Brahim Diaz back at City?
No, I wouldn't. I'd have one of the other Madrid players. He's good, Brahim Diaz, but I don't think he's.
What about Dani Olmo, Javi Simmons, Brahim Diaz?
No. Oh, out the three. Sorry, I thought you were saying all three. That's tough. That's tough. I'd probably go, and I've seen in the least of the three, I'd probably go Simmons still. I'd see more in him from the little I've seen than the other two. What about you? It's a tough one, mate. That's a good question.
I don't know, The problem is, I've not looked too much at Simmons. I've not watched him enough.
No, that's it.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's been at Leipzig, so like, why have I been watching Leipzig for? So it's a bit of an unfair. Listen, Olmo's a good player. It's just not exciting.
No, that's it.
You know who he is? Do you remember when we was linked with that guy, Danny Orzibial?
Oh God, yeah. From
Dani Olmo is basically him. Orzibial, Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
Like, good player, yeah. But like as fans, no one's getting Orzibial on the back of the City shirt if he signs for City. I'm not being funny, but that's just not happening, is it?
Yeah.
It'll cost a fortune, but no one's getting Orzibial on the back. I just don't think people are getting Dani Olmo on the back of the shirt, and people are like, well, it's because that's not really that exciting. But he's a good player.
Yeah, he's decent.
Whereas Brahim Diaz, bro, he's exciting, but he's probably less consistent maybe than Dani Olmo. Yeah,
I think Simmons is the most exciting of the three, the more talented of the three. Nobody's buying. No offense to Olmo, but nobody's buying an Olmo shirt unless his family do. But the City
unless his family do,
and his friends don't. But the City shop won't even stock the shirt with his name on. I'm sorry, they won't. I'm being a bit harsh. I'm being a bit naughty.
We're cooking him before he's even joined. Big up to Amar, says you've seen Olmo's injury history, horrendous. Yeah, we've seen it, bro. It's just, I'm just saying it out of it. I'm saying no. In terms of player, he's an all right player, don't get me wrong, but that would be a silly move in my opinion, based off his history record. Cheeky bid for Vinny Jr. says, hey, mate, what? I tell you what, if he ever become available, oh my God, he is unreal.
Yeah, just throw in a 200 now. Just this. I know it's a bit FIFA-ish and a bit Football Manager, but just go in there, just get the budget, and just go right. We'll give you 200 for him. He might be on the fringes of the bloody first team with all the players you got. We'll have him.
Yeah, he'd be insane. I need someone who can pass first as well as dribble. Says MMC. Oh yeah, 100%. I think Olise would actually fit into that bracket then, wouldn't he? To be honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
Simo, big up Simo says, I feel like Eze and Olise are both big fish in a small pond. Well, that's the risk. That is 100% a risk.
Yep.
Scott Sinclair's vibes, isn't it?
Yeah, they're better than that than him. But yeah, definitely. But I know I've said already on this show, but Eze, I'm telling you, he's going to be very, very good. Wherever he ends up, City, Spurs, Arsenal, wherever, he is going to be good, mate. I definitely think Eze will be that level at some point. Yeah.
Okay. I'm big up to Darcy. Says Javi to be the next City manager. Just got the sack. Yeah, that is true. Breaking news. Where's Saigon? Oh, not Tone. Oh, he's back. Yeah, breaking news. Big up Darcy. Just seen it now. Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona's coming out. Javi has been sacked as manager of Barcelona. They're going to be getting Hansi Flick. How do you think Barcelona?
Yeah.
I tell you what, when I was growing up, Tone,
Yeah.
Barcelona. I was watching Barcelona, and especially under Pep Guardiola, they're the best team I've ever seen in my life. In my opinion, that team, Barcelona under Pep, was better than even City last year. And I'm a City fan, and I'm saying that. I just thought they were absolutely insane. And it used to be, when you used to watch Barcelona,
you
used to be mesmerized. Yeah, you used to be. It was for me perfect football. It was everything that football should be, in my opinion. I know everyone can have different opinions on how football should be played, but for me, it was like that is how football should be played. And with Lionel Messi, the greatest player I've ever seen in my life, to be in the middle of all of it, with Pep Guardiola, the best manager I've ever seen, it was just the perfect thing. And it's quite mad to see how that club have just been ruined in. Well, I mean, they were still probably decent in what, 2012? They were still decent in 2012, 2013, in a decade. In terms of the actual club, they're probably, I know they're in the Champions League, but they're probably a bigger mess than United in terms of their actual funding and in terms of their actual, like, sort of structure. I know United is a mess, but like United are like, don't seem to be in too much financial problems, where Barcelona have just been ruined. And it's quite sad to see, man, because like I say, growing up, they were the team that I looked at going, they are the team.
Yeah, I'd much rather have Barca, maybe not beating us, but flying and top draw again. But they're financial. I mean, they're selling the pitch grass, aren't they, in the club shop, like little blocks of grass.
Yeah, doing everything now.
It's just madness, and selling the stadium name, Spotify, whatever it's called. It's just, it is a shame. And I know people will laugh, and I call them Brocolona and stuff, and got a load of stick for that last year. But I'm not. It would be good to see them. Would be good to see them come back in some way, but it's the previous ownership. I think Xavi's probably got the sack partly because he's been mouthing off, hasn't he, in the media about this state of the club. And is it Laporta who runs the?
Yeah, Laporta. Yeah, he's a clown.
Yeah, he'd come out saying, "Oh, he shouldn't be saying that," type thing. So I suspect there's something around there. But Xavi's right. It's a bit like, I think we may have said in this show before, Rangnick, or whatever he's called, United. He come out and said, this team's shit. We're in financial shit. They're not backing this, that, and the other, and they need to clear house. And then he got sacked. He was absolutely right. You speak the truth at these clubs that are failing, and you get absolutely wins. Poch is another one to a maybe slightly different degree, but Poch has been saying all season, this needs sorting. It's, things aren't running as well as they should be. Bang, out the door, although slightly different circs.
Yeah, it is a madness. It is a madness. I think he called them out for signings or something. He said, he's not happy, is he? Obviously, now Xavi's out of a job. It'll be interesting to see where he goes next. It will be. Guys, the final part of the show, we was going to speak about Bruno G, but we spoke about him yesterday, and I think everyone knows that we just need to wait for some developments on that now. But I do think in the next 2 weeks, I think we're going to get big news on Bruno. Let's speak about the... I don't know. In fact, let me just go through these 2 super chats and then we'll come on to the 115. Big up 12B says, I swear Ten Hag has brain damage. The man waffles. Well, what's he been saying now, man?
I dread to think. He keeps saying, "Oh, we'll beat City. Oh, my players." It's like, Ten Hag, you're going to be out of a job Monday, Tuesday. But you may survive till Wednesday. Just quit it. You're going... you rubbish, absolute rubbish. And he's done a shit job, even though they're shit. He's done an even shitter job with a shit team.
I can't see what he said. Maybe someone in the chat can let me know. I did just try and get it. Big up LB and Mr. Mr. Bat says Pep would love a player like Yamin Lamal, super talent, high ceiling, smart footballer, other gems at Barca to scout as well. Pep connection too. We spoke about Lamal yesterday, but I just don't see that happening. We're talking about experience, bro. Jeez. But then if they're good enough, they're old enough, as the old saying goes. Yeah. And Chris says Oscar Bob over Olmo. I think a lot of people actually back that, Chris, to be honest with you. I do think a lot of people will back that.
Yeah.
Right, let's speak about the 115 situation then, Tom, for the final part of the show. Tommy obviously had his say in the last days about the 115 situation. I think he's basically saying that he's getting information to suggest that it's going to be fine. Are you hearing anything? What are you thinking about this, and what did you make of Tommy's comments?
Yeah, well, Tommy's comments great. I think he went a bit further on one reply, just saying that he spoke with someone Sunday, so someone he seemed to deem as reliable and so on, and told me we know is various things and it's very good. The word's been positive. I've put out anything I have, and Mancunian, Way Martin, and all these guys we've all heard the same sort of thing. We roughly know from the same sort of people that the word is positive around it. City are absolutely confident there won't be any, we'll take the 10 million fine. It's complete clear. There will be no, okay, we'll take this and take that. And this is from the speculation, by the way. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, City to be cleared this year. So I think there was somebody else who'd said something similar, that it would be this year. And there was talk of October and then November and so on. So the word just doesn't really. The word. Oh, sorry, my Apple Watch is going nuts. I think the word has never changed. The thing has always been trust the club. Everyone's sort of on board. Some of the ex-players who work for the club have passed a few bits on. It's just that sort of thing around City will be cleared. And as we get further in, where normally people start to get a bit more edgy and a bit, what if, it's actually going the other way of City will be cleared. That is the word. Again, it's all speculation until anything's official. Okay?
Yeah.
So nobody's saying it's 100% happening. It's purely the word that is around. But I've heard the very similar. I haven't heard anything about it being definitely this year. But the word has always been the same, as it was 2, 3, 4, 6 months ago. Confidence, and City stand by. They're absolutely innocent. The Premier League, I've seen it described as a no-win case for the Premier League, and that is what it feels like more and more, is that they've bitten off more than they can chew. In my view, the Red Cartel are behind it, pushing them, going, go on, get them done. Some say, so I'm on a bit of a rant here, but some say, the damage is done. Yeah, but the damage is only done to the idiots who listen to the one track. So they've made their mind up. I said this on yesterday. Those people, a large group in the media and social media and wherever, will say, even if something come up from the Premier League saying we were 100% wrong, we should never have done it, City are innocent, we've seen the documents, they'll say, we paid them off. City are guilty anyway. So ignore that. They are never going to change. No matter what you say to them, they will always bounce it back. It's focus on the positive, the good, and if City are cleared, focus on that, not on the other side, which some people focus on too much of. Simon Jordan thinks this and Martin Keown said that. Who gives a toss what they say?
Yeah, and to people like Darcy's asking the question. I've seen Jack Lee ask it as well about Tom. Listen, at the end of the day, we don't know if these people who are saying that it's all going to be sorted this year, we don't know if they're trustworthy or if they're legit.
Yeah.
No one, we don't know. I don't know who this Tommy guy is. Yeah, I don't know if he's talking. I don't know if he's got a legit source. Now, part of me thinks he probably does have a source, but that doesn't mean he's going to get everything right.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is why I see it. I see the tweets. I see people talk about it. I'm obviously happy. You know what I mean? But I see it and I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Don't just put your trust in it, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
See it. Obviously, be happy that that's what people are saying, because obviously it's better than them saying, I'm a City ITK and we're getting fucked. Like, it's obviously better than that, but don't don't look at it and go, "Oh, great, 100% we're sorted," because like at the end of the day, we don't know for facts, and people can come out and say whatever, yeah. But at the end of the day, like I've told you from day one, I've told you this every stream I've done, guys, since day one. My take on this, and I think you guys should join my take, but you're free to do what you want. It's a free world. Is just wait until the outcome. Because at the end of the day, if you guys get giddy about this, and maybe he's right, and then it's great. But, and it doesn't, you're going to be fuming, you're going to be shocked, you're going to be like, oh my God, like what's going on? I was told that, I was told, like, don't put your trust in someone like you don't know. Like I say, that doesn't mean hate on the guy, or that doesn't mean just totally disregard what he's saying, but don't just look at it and go, that's facts. If he told you to jump off a cliff, you're not going to do it, are you? You know what I mean? So just chill. It's better than him saying we're guilty, but I'm just going to wait personally until the outcome. And then when the outcome's here, I'm going to read the document, just like I did with the cast document, and see what it says, and then form my own opinion, like normal people would do.
Yeah, there's no harm in speculation. And that's where the line gets blurred with some people, is somebody will say, like I've said, and Martin, he comes on your show and other people, I've heard this. It's come and roughly say where it's come from. And it's good. And it's positive work. I know Big Steve said some bits and bobs. But you've got to remember, it is speculation. That is all it is until it comes out officially. The very same thing with transfers. So you can come on here and say, Olmo, I think I've heard we're buying Olmo, and then it doesn't happen. He goes to Bayern Munich, and you'll get a group of people go, "You bloody well promised." It's like there's no, it's speculation.
Well, this is why 100%. This is the thing with transfers as well, though. Tony, is about like a journalist can get a source, and the source can tell him about a transfer. The journalist then puts that story out there in good faith, and then the transfer never happens, and everyone just goes, "You were waffling," and it's like, no, that's not. Journalists don't just randomly. They get told stuff, and then they put it out. If it doesn't happen, then but obviously they can't just wait until the transfer happens and then speak about it. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of these journalists in the first place, is to give us the updates, give us the rumors about the transfers. The one thing I would say is when you read stuff like this to me is a little bit more, holds a bit more weight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you've got stuff like this coming out, that's better, because, you know, to assure Pep Guardiola that we're going to be cleared, like that, you know, that's not saying, oh, we think we're going to be fine, Pep. You're saying we'll be fine. We ain't done nothing wrong. We're going to be fine. So to say that to me holds a little bit more weight. And I think he's a decent source, that Hurst class guy.
Yes, he is. He is very. And the Chicky and Soriano, they won't know themselves. It'll be the people above them in this case, which will be the lawyers and whoever, that Panic on the Streets of London guy. He will be saying as well, to feed that, you're not going to have any problem here. There's no problem. They can't. When I say they can't prove shit, that makes them sound like they've got something to hide. But you see what I'm saying. It's up to the Premier League. And I personally don't give a toss about they've already ruined our name and all that. That in my view is a load of bollocks, because that is only ruined in the eyes of people, like I've already said, that have already determined the result and think they know the result, which is complete crap. The only people that matter are the people that bloody are City fans about their own club and so on, and the people that run it. Sod the rest. Sod all these bloody Arsenal, Liverpool, United fans coming out going, well, actually, it's a complete load of crap. Who cares what they think? City, look, I hope we're going to get cleared. The word is we're going to get cleared. And when we do, I dread to think I'll be. The parties that are going to go on. Hugh Murray was saying on his show yesterday with Briggsy and that, it's party time. It's going to be like nothing else. It's going to be bigger than any party. It's down. It's just going to kick off big time.
Well, let's hope we get that dub then in that 115. Before we wrap up, let's have a look at some of your comments. Big up to Borna, says, for Zagreb, Dani Olmo was better than Modric and Kovacic.
Okay.
That's interesting. He's a good player. He's definitely a good player. I'm not going to cry if we sign him. I'm not going to be like that, but the injuries scare me. And it's just not that exciting. But he's a good player. He is a good player. And big up to Sign, says, don't give me hope, Tone.
No, yeah, you see this, and then I'll get absolutely battered if we
Yeah,
get
see, this
relegated
is
for
see, no one
division.
can say shit to me because I've never said once we're innocent or guilty. I'm just saying I'm waiting for the end result in it. Yeah, but you're gonna get pelters, bro, if we get guilty now.
Sorry, mate. I get pelters anyway. I cannot be any clearer. Speculation. That is it. I'm not saying any more on that.
Big up, man. Big up signs. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up there, Tone? What are you doing tomorrow for the game?
Yeah,
are you going? Or are you watching it from home?
Watching it at home. I did want to go, but yeah, I was. Yeah, I nearly had someone's ticket, and then he said, "Oh, no, I'm going now." So I was like, "Oh, you shit house," but it's their ticket, so fair enough. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to a game in August and September this year, so I'm hoping to go a couple of times early on next season because I haven't been enough this season. Various things with work and stuff, but so I'll be watching at home. And yeah, I was just going to say, confident about tomorrow. It's a shame Harry Maguire's out. I'd rather that plank played. I don't know what their injury situation is. I mean, it shouldn't matter anyway. They're crap, but they'll certainly have. Yeah.
Should I have a look now?
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, I'm quite interested with this game because this is their chance to get Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, and correct. Their only chance to get Europe. They have to win.
Conference League, is it, or is it the other one?
Europa.
Is the
Europe? Yeah.
Okay, because I heard Gary Neville saying, "Oh, we don't want the Conference League," and it's like the arrogant twat, isn't he? You know, your team is 8th, Gary. You're not the team you were in the 90s and whenever else. You are shit.
He's turned into a right little salty twat, him, you know, by the way.
He has.
Did you see what he said before about why are City fans running on the pitch when you've won it 4 times in a row? Oh, honestly, you're so miserable, man. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you, lad? You know, fans go to work all week, yeah?
Yeah.
They go to work all week. They pay a fucking grand, $2,000 for a season ticket, turning up to watch the team. The team's just been involved in an insane title race. And that what? They're on the pitch for 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever, just celebrating with the friends and the family and the kids and whatever. And then they get off the pitch and the title thing goes on anyway. And he's having a moan about it. He's turned into a proper... He needs to look himself in the mirror, man. Because he's a proper little salty guy now. I don't know what's wrong with him. Actually, you know what? I've gone through like a little bit of up and down with Gary. When he first joined Sky, after his football career, I thought the guy was a bit of an idiot, I didn't really rate him. And actually, after a couple of years, I felt like his punditry got to a really high level. I actually started to respect him. I was like, you know what? Start to respect this guy. Yeah. And then actually, funny enough, I lost respect for him when Ollie was at United because he didn't say it how it is. And he wasn't, in my opinion, he didn't do a professional job as a pundit because he wouldn't say how it is about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And even though it's not my football club, I think if you're a pundit and you're not telling it how it is because you want to protect your friend, then you shouldn't be a pundit. Do you know what I mean? You should be a pundit if you're not prepared to say how it is. So then I lost respect for him then. And ever since the 115, the guy's just not shut up about it. And now he's having a go at City fans for going on the pitch for what? 20, 30 minutes, bro. Honestly, man, miserable guy. He's got all this dough, yeah. You would have thought that he would have just been chilling back, just right, watching football, commentating on it, you know what I mean, running his business. He's got, honestly, he's got this what sends out little snipes to City fans. Honestly, proper bellend he is. Can't stand him anymore, mate.
No, I agree with everything you just said. And also, he said the other day, "Oh well, Pep's the most influential." I mean, we all know that anyway. We don't need that moron to say it, but you know, he's still rattling on about bloody Klopp being better and doing a better job. I saw it the other day, and it's like, look, you're entitled to your view, but back it up, Neville. What you know, you're just having a dig again. He cannot handle it. And the worst thing he ever did, Neville, was when he started saying, "It's not right, one team winning all this. It's not right. It's not competitive. It's not." It's fine when he was bloody winning.
Yeah, it's fine when he did
11. It. Yeah, 8 and 11 they won titles. 8 and 11.
Yeah, and as well, I think I'm pretty sure on average they won it by more points gap than we did.
Yeah, exactly. And they won FA Cups and all the rest of it under Ferguson because they had the biggest resources, far more than anyone else. And it's that's different. It's like these journalists. You've got this Jonathan. I can't pronounce this. Is it Jonathan Liu?
Oh yeah.
He's surprise, Liverpool fan. You've got that other Plonker who blocks everyone. He's a United fan. I know I'm not saying names here, but essentially what I'm getting at is all these idiots that keep having to go at City all support 2 teams, United and Liverpool. And I always say, for context, all of these journalists, whether they support West Ham, Everton, or Arsenal, or Liverpool United, they should all put who they support at the article. So headline,
like a disclosure.
yeah, written by Jonathan Liu supports Liverpool, and it should be there for context. And they will say, "Oh no, well, we shouldn't have to." Well, no, you fucking should, because you're talking shit again about one club. So if I look at that and go, "Ah, he's a Liverpool fan," there you go. Well, ignore that then. I think there should be context on it. Anyway, that's just my silly idea.
It is what it is. Right, well, big up chat, man. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm back tonight, man. I got a stacked show tonight, yeah, guys. A 2-hour-long show, yeah? Don't ever say I don't put the work in for you guys, yeah? I'm trying to bring you the content, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had Si on last night, I had the boys on this morning, and tonight, because it's the FA Cup preview, jam-packed, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. I've got the Noisy Pod boys on, and I've managed to secure the rights for both of them. Joey and Move are joining me on the channel for an hour to preview the game. And then straight away, same stream, 9 p.m., I'll say, see you later to the Americans, and we will get Dan United on. Yes, I have managed to rope him into it. He's probably going to get cooked for an hour, yeah, because his team's dead, and you guys like to roast him. But he's agreed to come on at 9, and we'll smooth transition into that as well. So 2 shows for you tonight on the same stream, no messing around, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Noisy Pod Boys, 9 p.m. To 10 p.m. I got Dan United on. So hopefully you guys can join me for that one. It's going to be a big preview. Listen, guys, anyone that's traveling down to London tomorrow, safe journey. Get there well, get there safe. Big up to Tone, big up to Luke for coming on as well. He had to dip early, he's working. His link's in the description. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. I'm actually going on Troops' channel right now to do some end of season review or whatever. I'm not actually sure. So I get a little redirect on. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, Friday, and I'll see you tonight, 8 p.m. See you later.
Bye.